Witam Państwa w czwartym odcinku Notesu Kulturalnego. Przyzwyczailiśmy się do tego, iż kiedy przyjeżdżają do Mózgu biali muzycy z Nowego Jorku, związani są z nowojorską sceną downtown. Często są też rezydentami takich klubów jak Knitting Factory czy Tonic Club. Muzycy, z którymi spotkamy się dzisiaj, to pokolenie znacznie młodsze. Mówią oni, że scena ta nie żyje, że wszystko, co w tej chwili ważnego dzieje się w Nowym Jorku, dzieje się na Brooklynie. Biorąc pod uwagę fakt, iż każdego powszedniego dnia w Nowym Jorku odbywa się około 700 koncertów, mam nadzieję, albo mam wrażenie, że dużo istotnych rzeczy dzieje się także w innych częściach miasta. Zapraszamy więc Państwa na muzykę z Brooklynu, czyli na spotkanie z zespołem The Hub, ale to w drugiej części programu. W pierwszej części spotkamy się z wybitnym malarzem Stanisławem Stasiulewiczem, którego twórczość, podobnie jak twórczość zespołu The Hub, silnie związana jest z miastem, z którego się wywodzi. Zapraszamy.
Dlaczego maluję obrazy? Bo bardzo lubię malować. W malarstwie jest jakby sprawa wzrokowa i świadomości takiej poprzez ten kod, który wizualizacja występuje. Oczywiście jako człowiek się jest również w przestrzeni społecznej wobec innych i twórczość, która nabiera swojego wyrazu, jest jakby też odkryciem siebie samego w stosunku do innych, również jakby do historii sztuki. Przychodziłem rano, karton i hajda, nie? Także to powstawało trochę w innej okoliczności, ten cały zestaw tych obrazków. Brałem aparat, nie, wchodziłem na kolejny motyw i jazda, nie? Także to przecież niecałe 2 miesiące namalowałem i to jest jakiegoś tam wysiłku. No i tyle, już się to zapakowało, że już dosyć, nie? Jakby nie takie nasycenie, nie? Także chciałby się dowiedzieć, dlaczego namalowałem Bydgoszcz. To jest główny powód przyciągnięcia mnie tutaj. No bo to chyba jest powinność, żeby namalować coś o miejscu, w którym się jest. Chyba jest to powinność. Jeżeli na nią stać samego siebie, że można coś takiego zrobić, no to się robi tak jak wszystkie inne rzeczy i już. Czy jest związek z miastem? Taki, że miasto gada do ciebie? Ja nie wiem, ale wydawało mi się, że gada, że ma przejęte i że warto o tym powiedzieć. To już nie są tamte czasy, kiedy działaliśmy sztandarowo, ideowo, tylko po prostu to miasto się skarży cicho. Chyba już sobie też odpuściło, jak większość z nas. A reszta to tylko farby i szybkie decyzje. I to wszystko. Żeby za długo się nie patrzeć, bo nie wypada. Nie wypada patrzeć na starych, zniszczonych ludzi zbyt długo w ich twarz. Uśmiechnij się, teraz tutaj przechyl głowę, to będzie bardzo ładne. Na pamiątkę uwiecznić. Chuj. Tak jak ludzie się mijają na szybkie cześć, cześć, tak samo się mija te domy i ulice. To jest tyle. Sądzę, że w moim przypadku nie potrafiłbym na dłuższą metę zajmować się innym zajęciem niezwiązanym z malarstwem.
I'm from Belgium. I live in New York though, in Queens. My music inspiration is my inner voice, or I should say my inner voices. I hear inside, I listen inside to what's happening. I think it's my brain, but it's my brain captures the voice and the souls of my ancestors through my fingers and my brain and my instrument. I give life to their song, to their chant. I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee. I'm a big fan of Leonardo da Vinci. I'm a big fan of Benjamin Franklin. And I love a lot of gods, especially Ganesh. He's a big inspiration to me. I like to do things with my hands. I would be an architect or a modeler or some kind of sculptor. I could be an instrument maker. I repair my saxophone. Music is the breathing that you can only hear actually during silence, and it's very big part of life. I think all the gods exist, all of them, the Indian one, the whatever you call them, and I'm really grateful to them in general. Sometimes I'm angry, I'm really upset at them, but I think they're doing a great job pretty much. I imagine death as rotting. It's not really death because worms come to life, mushrooms come. Sometimes I envy rocks because they look like they can never die. When we die, well, I never tried it. When people die, they stop breathing and their hearts stop beating. Maybe death is the only real silence.
I'm from Brockton, Massachusetts, the home of Rocky Marciano. My musical inspiration is just life in general, the events that people have to face, reality, not reality. I am a religious person. I don't believe in any kind of organized religion or any kind of conventional practice like Catholicism, but I do have a strong belief that God is a part of my music and a part of what allows me to have visions and inspirations. But I believe that through drumming and through my music, I see God, and that is the God that I believe is my music, and I believe that this attitude will move me forward in the future, and really be able to see who I am and what kind of person I am becoming and what kind of person I should become. Silence can really allow you to really develop ideas and be able to not just let it breathe. You know, everyone feels like they have to just keep going, keep talking. It's like going out with someone for dinner and they never stop talking. You know, I mean, to me, that's very boring if someone never stops talking. I teach children, and I tell them that there's everyone hears sound. There's sound. There are two types of sounds that exist. There's music and there's noise. You know, this is something, but if I what did I do? It's still sound. I'll give the first example. I was doing this. The only thing that was different was I organized the sound into something, and that's what music is. Music is organized sound, and noise is unorganized sound. How do I imagine death? Not hearing anything. That's death. not hearing. If I could not hear anything, that would be death.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York, for about 8 years now. I met Sean the drummer back, somewhere in the 90s. And we went to school together, we gigged. And then right out of school, I had a gig in Florida playing show tunes on the contrabass for homosexuals and elderly people. For about 2 hours every night, and Sean was on the drums, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I write a lot of music, Sean and I started putting stuff together. Dan McGuy, the original sax player, was there also. We formed a band. I moved to New York about 6 months later. They did about a year later, and then we started trying to tour. And Dan left a couple years ago, and now Paul is our new sax player, and it's going great. That's a short history. I've been lucky to have great parents and a great brother, or great brothers, so they've inspired me. But then musically, the list is huge. Charles Ives is one of my favorite composers. I like everything from Japanese noise to country music. One of my favorite new records is, or it's not a new record, it's 1978, is Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson. So it's called Waylon and Willie. Great country songs. There's a great underground Brooklyn scene right now, and Manhattan to me is dead. It's a great place if you want to see a superstar. There's no real scene in Manhattan. There's a few performance places where the stars play. The downtown New York scene, that's finished. I mean, there's the guys made it some of the guys made it very, very big. They're famous now, and they just tour a lot, and they'll play in Satonic or some of these downtown Stone places like this. Some of them are out of the scene. Some of them have teaching gigs. Some of them, they're just out of the scene. But it's not a scene. It's just there's some places for these stars to play. The real scene in New York right now is in Brooklyn. Todd P. is a promoter, puts on great shows. A lot of great noisy bands. But what's exciting about it is they're in these warehouses. Kids can pay $5 to get in, get a beer for $1. I mean, they're illegal things. But it can consolidate 200, 300, 400 kids into these great shows. Silence, true silence, I think is almost impossible for humans to experience on Earth. Even if you go to the desert, there's wind and friction of the sand. I'm religious to my music, but I was not raised in a family, believing in any kind of organized religion. I witnessed my father die, so I got a pretty intimate experience with it. By the last 40 hours, you couldn't really have a conversation with him. He was talking, but he was in and out of, he was having delusions, and I mean, he was on a lot of morphine too, so, but I had some intense, he kind of told me in the hospital a hint about 6 or 5 months before that, he's like, the brain is the last thing to go. And I think he was telling me this because he goes, even if the person looks dead, the brain, they still know what's going on. So I had a pretty intimate conversation with him at the end, and it was tough. But I knew he was definitely hearing me, and I think it was one because he died the next morning. I went up to his room and talked to him, and yeah, the next morning he died. And when he was dead, it was a different person at that point. I mean, he was dead, and they took the body away, but it was extreme intense. It was very intense, but it was very graceful, and it's made me less afraid of death. I'm still fucking totally afraid of it, don't get me wrong, but it's something that us as humans are great at ignoring, and it's these situations that we have to really look at it. And unless some people run away, but this is kind of a cowardly thing to do, I think.